Hello and welcome to the Penno Channel for this match reaction to Liverpool 2, Aston Villa 0 last night in the Premier League. I'm joined with my bro to go through this one. Yeah, bro, how you doing? How you feeling? How's your Sunday been? Some positive results for us in the sense that we're only, is it 2 points off third? I think, or is it 1 point? It's ridiculous how tight it is in the league. We may be 10th at the minute or 9th, whichever. But the gap between 10th and 3rd, I think, is just a point or two. So, yeah, absolute madness. How you doing, bro? How you feeling?
Yeah, I think the biggest winners out of this weekend were Liverpool, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm doing good, bro. Enjoyed my Sunday. Obviously watched the football. Got NFL on in the background as well. So yeah, chilling, man. How about yourself? How you been?
Yeah, good Sunday, man. Good dinner. Nice chilled one. Watched the Chelsea Arsenal game, which is a bit of a snooze fest at times, but point shared, which is good for us because that means we're still within 1 point of both sides as well. Spurs losing to Ipswich was top tier, absolutely top tier. After what I'd seen from their fans last week against us, just to not back down to reality that Spurs always get after a decent result for them. So yeah, that was positive as well, bro. And talking about Forest, even they were above us, and they ended up losing 3-1 to Newcastle after taking the lead. So you could say the results went in our favour today. A lot of games, which again, it just shows you the quality of the Premier League, and anyone can beat anyone in any day. Anyway, yeah, bro. So your thoughts regarding yesterday? We've had nearly 24 hours now to get over it, reconcile and have a think about how the game went. What's your thoughts of the game overall, and before we get into it?
It kind of went how I expected, in the sense that I thought we'd put in a performance. I didn't think we'd be as bad as we were against Bruges. And I watched Brighton last week play Liverpool, and you can get at them on transition. You can create chances. And Villa had their chances yesterday to score. We had numerous chances. We had headers from corners. We had 1v1s. We just weren't clinical enough. We didn't take our chances. So overall, I'm not too annoyed at the performance at all. I thought it was actually a good performance, but got it as well at the same time because their goals came through our mistakes.
Yeah, facts. Before we get into this one, guys, as well, if you could subscribe as well if you're new. 22 off 700, which we're trying to hit, so we'd appreciate that. Let's get the likes up to 50. We'll go into a few comments here. Kevin, thanks for joining. He says, no crisis, just lack of confidence, a defensive issue. Trust Emery, it's a long season. It is indeed a long season ahead, and as we've seen today as well, anyone can get at anyone and beat anyone. Talk about Torres, no penalty. We'll get into that, Kevin. We'll say that one. Deontay says, happy Sunday. Thanks for joining, Deontay. Also says the gap between 3rd and 11th is 3 points. It's still early days. No reason to panic. And I do agree with that as well. So, yeah, bro, you're saying it went the way you thought it would. Firstly, we'll go into the lineups. I shared my thoughts briefly last night about the lineup and what I thought. I expected the 4 in the middle. I was quite surprised myself that McGinn didn't start. But apart from that, I liked it. I was happy to see Bailey and Ramsey playing. What was your thoughts?
Yeah, I liked the lineup. I liked the fact that Ramsey started on the left. I thought he'd be a big threat with us carrying. I like the fact that Roger started central this time. Tielemans and Anana in the middle. Bailey, I wasn't sure about because Bailey just hasn't been performing recently. I wasn't sure about Bailey at all, but I wanted Duran to start, bro. I'll be honest. I thought Duran would have provided a really big threat against Konate and Van Dijk, and especially because he didn't start Wednesday as well. I thought Emery might give him the nod. I thought his hold up probably would have been a lot better than we saw from Watkins. So that was probably my only disappointment with the lineup. But apart from that, yeah, I like the lineup.
So you full on for Duran to start over Watkins now then? Because a few times you've mentioned recently that you think Duran, I know he didn't start Wednesday, but you mentioned that Duran should have started. I think you mentioned as well that Watkins' hold up after watching back on Wednesday was better than you thought it was. So are you in a position now where you think Watkins has had the chance and it's Duran's turn now?
It's not a down on Watkins. It's more on the game state. Like, you're away at Anfield, you're gonna have space in behind. Duran's just a better physical presence against defenders like
Do you think
Konate
so?
and Van Dijk. 100% in this current form of Watkins as well, bro. Like what we've seen this season. Like, the upper body strength hasn't been there, and while his touch wasn't as bad as I thought against Bruges, like, I think Duran would have been a better option here, 100%.
No, that's fair. I don't think I agree with that in terms of his upper body strength. I thought, again, there was times yesterday, I think his touch was poor, but there was times where the ball was going to Watkins and he was laying it off okay. Yeah, but that's fair. That's fair. If that's your thoughts, it'd be interesting to see how Duran would have got on from the start, definitely, because obviously coming up against Konate and Van Dijk, I think those two against Saliba Gabriel in terms of strength and power and how they operate as a defensive pairing, they're the two best. And yeah, it's difficult for any striker, let alone just one playing up front if there's a combination of two. So yeah, I hear you. A few more comments. Paul says, "Hi, Penno and Adam, how are you?" We're doing good, Paul. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're doing well. Kevin says, "Nedeljkovic needs to start. Don't care about if he's not good enough. It's better than starting Konza out of position and losing anyway." Paul also saying, "I think January we will buy two players like Llorente's a centre back and good, and the midfielder too, plus right back needs creative midfielder, striker, winger." Duncan's joined us. Thanks for joining, Duncan. He says 4 defeats in a row is a slump for a manager like Emery. Need to beat Crystal Palace and Juve after the break. So, regarding the right back position and our back four, I thought it was going to be that back four anyway. I don't think either of us were too surprised regarding that. Going forward, do you think it's time for a change regarding that? Do we bring Konza straight back into centre back? And I know probably it's opposition pending, but if Matty Cash still isn't back after the international break, would you like to see a change in the back four? Maybe as well, Digne coming out for Maatsen?
Yeah, I don't hate the idea at all of Costa starting. I understand fans' frustration because Konza just isn't a right back. Like, he is quite a struggle to watch. Carlos as well with the second goal, another error from him, and as good as his passing can be at sometimes, like, he's getting a bit much now, the defensive errors from Carlos. So yeah, I understand the calls for Costa to start maybe. And yeah, I'd like to see Maatsen start from now on. I didn't actually want Maatsen to start against Liverpool because Salah versus Maatsen, that's like the worst matchup for him. But against Palace, yeah, Palace are going to sit in their block as well. They're on a run of results where they need a win as well. Yeah, I'd like to see Maatsen start 100%. Have more creativity from wide areas, which I think is a massive problem with Villa. If you watch our games, like, we don't really build chances from quick combination play on the width, especially that right-hand side. So I think that's something to improve on, definitely, as well. So yeah, I'm not against the switch up in defence.
Michael says, "Thanks for joining, Michael." He says, "Evening all, we should not get too stressed out. As I always say, the season is a marathon and some players are off form. As good as Duran has been, I don't think he's a starter just yet." I agree with this, with that, Michael, especially in terms of getting stressed out at all. I don't think that's the case. Just look at the league table. I mean, there could be 5 or 6 teams. If we're going to be stressed out, there could be another 5 or 6 teams that could say they'd be stressed out as well. So it is too early in the season to judge in that sense, and it's just so tight. If Villa win a couple of games, they'll be top 4 back in there, no problem. So yeah, agree. Duncan says needs to make changes. High time. Maatsen, Barkley, and Duran need to start as well. So Duncan agreeing with Duran getting a start and Maatsen as well, bro. And yeah, it'd be interesting to see how Barkley's after the international break, because we could do with him as well at times. Kevin says, "How much better was we when Maatsen came on going forward?" I agree. I do think Maatsen's better at times going forward. I think he offers more. Currently, I do still think Digne, he seems a little bit better defensively, but Maatsen over time could potentially get to that level as well. Paul saying Kamara and Arne Tillemans midfield. I can see that happening very soon as well. The Villa fans joined. Thanks for joining. He says, "Honestly, I thought we played well yesterday. The only blame I can think of was I don't rate McPhee's set piece anymore. They do is create chances for the opposition, and Carlos was poor." Yeah, we'll get into that for sure. Ryan's joined. Thanks for joining, Ryan. He says, "Evening all. Personally, do think Duran should start myself." It's another agreeing with you, bro. Yeah, we'll get into Duncan saying 1 point to third place. Top 4 is still very doable. Liverpool only team in form. Fair. And Kevin says Rodgers worries me, misses the sit again. So anyway, bro, let's get down to that first half. The Liverpool lineup, I don't think there was much that was shocking from there. Back four expected. Curtis Jones came in for Szoboszlai, I think, and that was it really. Darwin Nunez started up top as Jota's injured and Gakpo remained on the bench. How do you feel that first half went?
Yeah, so honestly, I really enjoyed how we were playing early on in the first half. I thought we were getting a lot of the ball. I thought we were playing some nice stuff, especially on our left-hand side with Ramsey, Tielemans, Rodgers linking up. Despite Rodgers probably having a massive off day for his standards, I did think we were getting joy. And it felt like we were getting into their box, bro. There was that one moment where Ramsey carried the ball, Digne sprinted on the overlap. And what have you've been begging Ramsey to do this season? To sell the feint, cut inside, and have a go yourself. And he finally did it this game. The shot was blocked. But we had some momentum. I didn't feel like we were getting better, bro. I thought we were playing some really good stuff in the first half. I don't know how you felt.
Yeah, I agree, bro. I thought we were really good in that first half. The shape was correct for me. The shape was perfect. We're nullifying what Liverpool could do. And when Liverpool did transition, as we'll get into, it was from our own doing, our set plays. I thought, apart from that, we done well. And the stats showed that we had a higher XG. We had more shots, equal amounts of shots on target. We had 3 big chances. They only had 1. They didn't miss that. We missed all 3 of our big chances. So, bro, it was a very good first half performance, and we were very unlucky to go in at 1-0 down through a fault of our own. And yeah, we'll get onto that at all. Let's get into the first big decision of the game so far, the Watkins penalty shout. Was that a penalty for you?
I thought it was a penalty, to be honest. I thought it was a penalty. I think he gets across Watkins, doesn't get anywhere near the ball, stops Watkins in his tracks. So yeah, 100%. I thought it was a penalty. I don't know what you guys thought of it as well, but I don't think Watkins' theatrical dive, not dive, but like the way you went to ground, it just looked crazy. So maybe that influenced the referee's decision. But yeah, I thought that was 100% a penalty, to be honest. Kevin says, Rodgers worries me, Mr. Sitter again. Yeah, I think that was an off game for Rodgers, to be honest. His touches didn't look as secure as normal. He was forcing a lot of the passes that were going straight back to Liverpool players. So I think Rodgers is tired, to be honest. Emery came out in his presser this weekend and said he needs rest. He doesn't want him to go with the under-21s. They're friendly games. So hopefully we pull Rodgers out of them games and give him 2 weeks off, because right now he needs it more than any other Villa player. Paul says, guys, plus Man United 3 points behind now. Paul also says, do you think McPhee got to move in, try something different now? Ryan says, I've got no stress about McPhee unless not clearing the first man is part of the set-piece routines, which I highly doubt. Kevin says, we played well, to be honest, just schoolboy defending for their goals, missed chances, and very dodgy refereeing decisions. That's how I kind of felt as well. I wasn't mad at our performance. I thought we held our own at Anfield. It's just the fact that we concede from our own corners, and it wasn't just the one corner, it was 3 different corners where they had big chances. It's just frustrating because set pieces are supposed to be our strength, not our weakness. Ryan says pen for me. Yeah, I agree, Ryan. Kevin also says both were pens all day long. Paul says we get robbed of the penalties. Paul also says didn't like the linesman and the ref as well. Duncan says, I'll put it now, the real elephant in the room is Watkins' form. For me personally, I think Watkins isn't the same player as he was last season. Now, he had that injury at the start of the season that he was recovering from. As we saw in the West Ham game, he didn't really offer anything and he was subbed off early for Duran. Now, whether he's still carrying that injury, I don't know. It just seems there's certain things about his game with his hold-up play. He doesn't seem as strong as he used to be. The finishing as well. He's still getting the chances, which I like, but I don't know. It felt like he was scoring more last season. And is he having a confidence issue with how good Duran's been off the bench? Like we saw when Ings was here with Gerrard, like that was affecting him as well. Have we got a repeat of that? Or yeah, bro. I was just speaking about Watkins' form at the moment, but
yeah, sorry about that. It is. I think it is concerning a little bit. We always know Watkins can go in and out of scoring. That can happen, but sometimes it's the positioning, the snatching of shots. He's snatching his shots again. I know he had that one effort where he cut inside, he hit it over the bar. That wasn't too bad. But then there was one on the edge of the box from the right side where he tried to cut across it and he just snatched it again. He's had a few shots where he snatched at them. He just needs that confidence again. He needs that goal. Him not scoring in the Champions League either, that's probably playing on him. He wants a Champions League goal. He felt like, again, when we the Bruges game, that shot as well, he kind of snatched at that a bit as well. He might have had a bit more time than he first thought, even though it just went just wide. Even though I say that about Watkins, I think sometimes, the final third decision making by the team in general, it's lacking as well. And that can affect the chances that Watkins does has in the areas he gets into. I think we haven't been great at that recently. Just the decision making when we have the ball in the final third by all attacking players. We've just been getting it wrong at the crucial moments. And if that's to click and we start making the right decisions, Watkins will start getting goals again. I have no doubt about that at all. But yeah, the penalty itself, I think it was a pen. I think Konate comes across and he doesn't touch the ball. He comes across and doesn't touch the ball. Okay, the motion's a bit theatrical as he goes over, but I think that's a penalty because Konate comes across in his running lane, trips him up. Okay, Watkins flies, but he doesn't get anywhere near the ball at all. And if he wasn't to make that action, Watkins would get onto the ball. So yeah, for me, that was a penalty as well.
Should we talk about their first goal then, bro?
Yeah, go on, bro. Let's talk about Austin McPhee and his wonderful set pieces. Let's get into it. I can't say we haven't been warned this season from that, something like that happening. There's been a number of moments this season where on transition from corners we've looked like we're going to concede, and we've somehow managed to deal with it. There's been one-on-one instances. I think Matty Cash had one that comes into my mind at Villa Park where he managed to make a great tackle to clear it. So we've been warned, and we didn't quite heed the warning, as yesterday showed. Yeah, it's just a poor setup, isn't it? And it continued throughout the game, but at that moment, it was just so poor. Leaving Leon Bailey isolated with a 2/3-on-1 is not what you want. It's probably the last player you want defensively, trying to run back and do something. So it's poor. It is poor defensively, and yeah, potentially fortunate Leon Bailey didn't see red because Darwin Nunez finished it. I think I mentioned yesterday, the 2 times Upamecano did to Watkins. I know me and all Villa fans were screaming red card for Upamecano. The refs, I think he's waived it. I don't know why. They've scored, and I think we can say we were quite fortunate with that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I felt about it, to be honest. I was kind of happy in a weird way that Nunez scored, because a red card would have just completely killed the game off there for us. That would have just ended it there. So I take going a goal down over getting a red card, but just shocking, man. Just how are we 3v1 at Anfield with Leon Bailey going back? Like, come on, man.
It's mad, isn't it?
That's rookie stuff. And it's a weird one with McPhee, because if you look in the game, we had the Onana header, we had the Carlos header, which are 2 massive chances from corners. But to offset that, we've given Liverpool their 2 goals. So it's like, what's going on? Like, why can't we be good defensively from our own corners and create chances from our own corners?
Bro, I think it was the absolute kiss of death as well, because I think they put something in the corner with most goals from set pieces from that corner. And I think, obviously, it had Villa and Arsenal with 5. And I think directly from that, they scored. So it was like the absolute kiss of death from them showing that on the screen, because they went up the other end and scored. When I was going to say clinical strikers, Darwin Nunez isn't really clinical, as we saw after with the chances he missed, but he managed to bag that one. If Mo Salah was a one-on-one, which you saw later, he would have probably bagged as well. So, yeah, can do just shocking defensively. What do you think of set piece coaches and the attention they're getting in the media these days? Is it woke?
Yeah, I don't. You don't really bother me, to be honest. I couldn't give a shit, to be fair. I see people get irate by it, and yeah, I don't care, bro. I was just looking. I wasn't focused on McPhee. I was just focused on Salah going through 1v1, bro. That's what was getting my attention.
Yeah, fair enough. What for the first?
For the first, yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. Anyway, bro. So we concede there. Not much Emi Martinez can do from it. How do you think we responded to that?
It felt like we were still played our game. Like, I don't know about you. Liverpool were having possession, but we were getting like some joy, like further up the field from set pieces as well. It was funny though, because whenever we got a corner, Liverpool fans started celebrating it like it was their own because they knew what was coming from as a result. But yeah, in the first half, bro, we had, as I said, we had the big two headers from Anana and Carlos. Kelleher making massive saves for them. And then after that as well, from the resulting corner, we had the cross that went over Kelleher. And Dean's just got to do better at the back post, man. You gotta try and get it cross goal or get it on target.
I thought that's harsh because that one I felt was harsh because it's on his left. He's not right footed. We know that anyway, and it's come from the keeper. So I thought that was a harsh one. The Watkins one? Did you think that was a pen? Do you think that potentially could have been given? They could have reviewed that when Carlos had the header because Watkins was being pulled at the time.
But you're not getting that at Anfield. That's just not how it goes.
Yeah, we also have. Yeah, there were some good chances, man. There were some good chances indeed, and yeah, we could have felt unfortunate to not go in 1-1, but again, we got caught on the transition again, bro, from a corner. Darwin Nunez should have got 2 in the first half. How we put that so far wide, I don't know, but yeah, you could say we could have gone in level. Could have said they could have been 2-0 up. It was one of those games. It did feel reminiscent of Klopp managing Liverpool. God, the commentary yesterday was long. It was long. They were sucking Liverpool off, man. It was mad. But they did say something like it felt like a Klopp game rather than an Arnie Slot, and I did agree with that in terms of the way I've watched Liverpool this season when Slot's managed. It felt more controlled, and that first half didn't. It was going either end, and that credit to us as well, I think, in that sense, because apart from their transition chances, they didn't really create much out. So I thought that worked a bit in our favour. I thought we played well first half, and as I said, we were unfortunate not to go in level at half time.
And the biggest killer of that first half was Ramsey's injury, who I thought was our best attacker by far.
Yeah, I agree. I thought he had a good game in transition.
He was excellent. He was excellent. And to see him get another hamstring injury, another injury for Ramsey, man, it's just, you start asking questions now. Like, is this a long-term thing with him? Can he ever stay fit? Like, just going, you got a clearly talented player that is just never available consistently. So, and then I didn't like the sub, I'll be honest. I didn't like the sub. I thought Duran was the sub to come on and then move Rodgers on the left and try and have him replicate what Ramsey was doing. I did not like that McGinn sub, bro. I don't know how you felt about it.
I didn't mind it. We've seen Duran and Watkins together. I just don't think it works, bro. Like, seeing Duran and Watkins for 45 minutes and moving Rodgers, I would have hated to see that, to be honest, because after what we witnessed against Spurs, I don't like it. I don't like those two playing together. I just think that the cohesion between them, it doesn't work. I think you can only play one at the minute until they actually learn how each other plays. And in a big game like that, when we're only 1-0 down, I don't know. That wouldn't have been for me.
I hear it and I agree. I don't normally like them playing as well. But in them circumstances, what was Ramsey doing all half? He was carrying the ball. And then you take out that profile for someone that's just not a carrier, you lose something, and I felt like we lost something. Even bringing on Maatsen on the left over McGinn, bro, I would have preferred that so more, I think. Because someone that can carry the ball up the pitch, where we were clearly hurting them on the left-hand side, and I just felt like we lost that in the second half until Maatsen did eventually come on.
Yeah, that's fair. If we'd have made the double and maybe McGinn and Maatsen come on, then yeah, I hear you as well. I wouldn't mind seeing that. I just think Duran Watkins is just, it doesn't work right now. And so early on in the game as well to do that and throw them both on, I think we'd have just lost our shape even quicker and they'd have potentially scored more from that. Yeah, it was. I thought we played well. I thought we played well first half, and there's a few comments here regarding that. To get into, yeah, Ryan saying I'd start Maxon next game for sure. Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see how Maxon gets on from the start. Gary saying, thanks for joining, Gary. Any low corners are suicide against Liverpool. Whose idea was that? The delivery. Well, to be fair, I think we try and McPhee, he's been doing it for a while now. He's first man. We try and hit the first man. If it's a good delivery, we get the chances we did with Onana and Carlos at the near post, which are good headers. If it doesn't work, it's just cleared straight away, and we're in trouble on the transition. And we saw both sides of it in that first half. When it didn't work, we got caught. When it did work, we nearly scored. So that's the fine margins. But yeah, I agree. It did feel like suicide at times against Liverpool yesterday. Yeah, Kevin says, I thought Ramsey was playing well until his customary injury nowadays. Can't catch a break. Can't, man. And it's such a shame because every time it feels like Ramsey's getting back into the swing of things, he just gets injured again. And I did think he was our best player first half. I still think his decision-making could have been better. He had that chance where he did the right thing. He let Digne do the overlap, let Digne take the two defenders, and then he was indecisive with his shot. If he'd just taken his shot a bit earlier instead of, I think he took like an extra touch. If he just hit it, because we know Ramsey can shoot. He scored some absolute bangers in his career, but he was a bit indecisive. But I thought transitionally driving with the ball, he was really good yesterday. Gary always saying no faffing in January. Sal Cash and a trusted right back and some pace as right wing to replace our one season wonder Bailey. Ryan says smash a like if you haven't, and you can, lads. Appreciate that, Ryan. If you could do that, we'd really appreciate it. People saying Watkins to left wing, bro. It makes so much sense. It hurts. Gary saying we have Illing Jr. at left wing if needed. So Illing's out at the minute. Gary also saying Buendia's never starting again. Loan with obligations to buy. People saying Duncan saying as well. Illing Jr. pace matches Diaby. Sorely missed. What do you think about that, bro?
We don't really play with a left winger, do we? I guess the left back's supposed to be the left winger, and the left mid tucks in, doesn't he? Ramsey tucks in and allows the left winger to bomb on. So ideally, Maatsen will be the left winger in this system, but he's just not starting.
Yeah. Villa fan. Does anyone think Aston Villa should go? Because even though we scored from 3 corners this season, his set piece is even good enough for us because last night wasn't the first time. I would really like to know, firstly, defensive set pieces in charge of that in general. And then, obviously, from last night, it wasn't really defensive set pieces that was the problem. It was our own set pieces. So that needs tweaking for sure. I don't think I'd want McPhee to go because he has been a big staple. Over the seasons, we've had good numbers, set pieces from scoring. We were right up there last season. We're right up there again this season. But there needs to be tweaks, especially in transition defensively, because that's not on when you're playing the best transition side in the league. To leave that much space and only one man defending, and we saw it again in the second half more than once. It's not good enough. Paul says Luis to come back on loan to Villa in January. You having that, bro?
I think the McPhee going takes reactionary, man. Like, God forbid where we'd be without our goals from set pieces this season. Like, in a weird way, you could kind of say it's masked some of the performances, our goals from set pieces. So I think that's reactionary to say McPhee to go. He's been a big contributor to us even being in the top half right now. I'd just like him to work on the defensive side a bit more and try and nullify that, because our attacking set pieces, I actually think we're quite good at them.
Yeah, fair. So anyway, bro, going into that second half, as we said, we had the McGinn substitution just before the break. You were saying, Duran, was there anything you expected at half time potentially substitution wise, or were you thinking, okay, McGinn's come on now, that's all we'll see?
What I was expecting, no, because he made the sub before. I wasn't expecting any other subs at half time. I don't know what you were expecting. Did you feel like we needed another one?
No, I thought we were playing well. Like I thought we were playing well. It was the thing that was getting me yesterday was the decision making in the final third. I thought there's so many times where we transitioned well, and I thought Rodgers did it a number of occasions. I think he had 50% pass accuracy, which Rodgers sometimes is a miss. That happens. He's only young. That is going to happen. He's one of our biggest creative outlets. But then Bailey got into positions where he was one-on-one at times, and he he can't beat his man at the minute. It's so sad to see, because Bailey last season was beating his man comfortably. That was it. We would isolate the left, and then we'd build up on the left and then isolate the right, and we could switch it to Bailey, and he'd be 1v1, and he was beating his man. He was working for us, whether he was getting a shot off Bournemouth, West Ham at home, positions where he was getting into the position he was getting off shots, scoring goals. He's just not doing that anymore, and it seems like the right hand side is just a net negative when it comes to attacking on that side of the field, because obviously you've got Konza right back, and then you've got Bailey. When he's getting into those scenarios, he's not performing. I do feel for him a bit in terms of, yes, he doesn't have a right back who's going to overlap and create that space for him. But there was times yesterday where we played the ball and he was in a position where he could do something and he just didn't produce. Again, on the left, second half, I thought, you know what I thought we did well? First 10 minutes, I thought we were winning the ball back really high. McGinn, there was 2 occasions I remember McGinn won the ball back on the halfway line when Liverpool's team had pushed up, and we just made the wrong decision both times.
Tillerman's press was really good as well. I remember him jumping and intercepting one of the passes.
And the decision making was poor. McGinn had the chance to whip one in, and he hit the first man when we had like 4 players in the box, and they had about 3 or 4 as well. So that was an opportunity. Digne had a poor cross as well, I remember. Yeah, the final third play was just poor. Obviously, Rodgers had the big chance as well, start of the second half, which is huge at that point. He should score, shouldn't he?
Yeah, I think Dean plays the ball long, and Kanate heads it back, and we win the second ball. And bro, you're watching that, and you're thinking, "Oh my gosh, that was it, just to get back in the half and get the equaliser that we deserve, man." Just that was the moment for me. And bro, he don't even put it wide, bro. He puts it nearly out for a throw-in.
It seems, yeah, I know.
He's caught in 2 minds. I think Bailey's open. He's thinking, do I pass or do I just shoot? Like, come on, Rodgers, man.
Yeah, he has to bury that. He has to bury that. Like
at Anfield, bro, you don't get chances like that. Just take your chance, man.
No, it does. It changes the whole complex of the game, and that's what's been going on recently. Just those big chances, we're just missing them in it. They're not going in at the moment. The chances that can change games in our favour, we're just missing them, and yeah, it's to our detriment because we're not getting the points at the moment. Let's talk about it then, because obviously Liverpool have a big chance with Darwin Nunez again. The header comes into the area. He should do better with that. He should at least get that on target, and that we could have gone 2-0 down from that. But we weren't. The big talking point then, bro, Pau Torres pen. It's a definite pen, in it. How they haven't given that. I was saying it last night in the quick max reaction I did. A thing that happens with that as well, it's not just that he does pull his shirt, but the area where the ball comes in from the cross, it goes directly to Conor Bradley. Conor Bradley clears the ball. So it's not as if he's pulling him away from the ball. The ball literally ends up in the area where the foul takes place. So it's affecting play as well. It's not just that he's a pull of the shirt, it's affecting play, because Pau Torres would have got to the ball. It's a stonewall penalty, that is, and that was a sickener, that one was, because that was a really good chance to get back into the game.
Yeah, just to speak on that Darwin header, that was a bit worrying, because that was the first time they'd really attacked down our right hand side, and got in through Konza that way. Normally it's through our left hand side, but yeah, this is the most blatant penalty I've seen. He pulls his shirt, he holds on for 2-3 seconds, he stops Torres from getting to the ball when the ball's played in. It's part of the set piece routine. VAR even check it as well. You're just not getting a penalty at Anfield like this, bro.
That's mad though, man. That one's mad.
Bro, it's fugazi, bro. It's bullshit. Like, you're just not getting a pen. You've been conned. It's not happening. It has to be like literally after 2-foot someone in the box to even get a VAR check properly for more than 10 seconds. So yeah, got it. It's a penalty.
It's mad.
I don't know who takes it though. Probably would have missed anyway, to be honest, knowing how I had David Brody. You know them ones, but
yeah, but it's an absolute stonewall. The confidence the Villa players had, it was a pen, because when Torres got pulled and then Bradley kicks it, the Villa players kind of stop and they go around the referee and they're like, okay, just
body language,
just listen. McGinn, Yuri, Powell all go up to the referee like, just listen to this. You know, they'll give a penalty. And when they never gave it, I was just like, yo, it's so blatant. And again, as I said, it's not just because he pulls his shirts, but the ball goes in the area where the foul takes place. So it's affecting play. It affects the actions and what happens because Pau Torres would have been next to the ball when it came in. It's just an absolute stinker, man. And I thought David Coote was a United fan. You know what I mean? He's tried to overhide his bias. He's gone the other way, just not giving absolutely anything. And then to top it all off, Boubacar Kamara gets booked for an identical shirt pull in the middle of the pitch on Ryan Gravenberch, and then you're just like, yeah, this is an absolute joke, man. Yeah, so at that point, bro, we're still in the game, innit? We're still in the game. I think Unai makes some further subs at that point. Bidace comes on for Bidace and Duran obviously come on a bit earlier than that on 65, and then Maatsen and Boubacar Kamara come on as well. So good subs to make in that position. We're still chasing the goal, but they're strong subs.
A bit late though. Do you not think though, bro? A bit late. 17 minutes to go. Like, is that not just a bit late for Emery? Does Emery like hesitate a bit with these subs? I think he does personally, bro. Like 17 minutes.
I
like,
don't think so.
What's a player supposed to do in 7? What's a player supposed to do in 17 minutes? Like, he's just.
Yeah,
I just feel like
don't you think the game state was?
Nah, man.
But the game state was. I disagree, bro. I disagree totally. I think the game state was at a point where Emery was like, okay, we'll take this into the last 15 and then we'll go for it. I don't think Liverpool were not doing anything in the start of that second half. They weren't doing it. They were trying to play through us and they couldn't play through us. Our shape was really good. And we were getting the ball on transitions. We were just messing it up. I thought it was good yesterday in terms of when the substitutions were made. I really did. I didn't think it was too late at all. I thought the game was managed properly. It was our own undoing which caused us to concede again, it was another foolish goal. I disagree with that.
But the thing is though, you got to think about it macro. It's trends. This is not a one-off where he's just given like bullshit minutes to Maatsen. Look at the Bournemouth home game, 19 minutes. Like, I just think the subs come a bit earlier. Give the player time to make more of an impact for me.
But then
13 minutes against United.
I'm saying, that's fair enough. That's fair enough in other games.
13 minutes against Ipswich.
I'm talking about.
Yeah, but that's my point. My point's not surface level. My point's just not one game. It's a wider conversation on Emery's.
Okay, that's a different thing because you asked me about the subs yesterday in terms of.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, in general, make the subs quicker for me in games against Ipswich, United. Quicker subs. Give them more time to make an impact.
Which is fair. My point was just yesterday. I think it was right. I think it was the game state worked in our favour. I thought we were playing well anyway, and Liverpool weren't creating. They weren't. I think if we look at their attempts at that point, stats wise, I think they had, apart from the Nunez headers, they were just having pot shots. Emi saved one comfortably, went straight down the middle. Gakpo hit one miles over, 0.3 xG, 0.03 xG. Like, they weren't creating anything. It was working in our favour.
I know, but also a goal off at that point.
Yeah, which is fair.
That's a key game state part as well.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that, but what I'm saying is we've restricted them, and then Unai's thought process might have been we'll restrict them and then we'll go for it in the last 10, 15 instead of going for it straight away and potentially being out of shape and just losing it even earlier in the game.
Yeah, I think it's cowardice, bro. I'll be real. I watched that Brighton game the other day.
You think it's
yes, bro. I'm going on to my next point. I watched the Brighton game, bro. You can open Liverpool up if you show a bit of composure.
But Brighton lost, I know
the last one.
And Liverpool had more XG against Brighton.
Yeah, but look what Brighton created and they scored. And they scored. And it's not just about the chances to create, like the football they played. You can get past this Liverpool team with a bit more ambition in your play, in my opinion. Like, we didn't, outside of the Rodgers chance, which came from their mistake, with Konate not heading the ball away properly. What did we create? Like,
my point is, what did they do either? That's what I'm saying. I think he was trying to manage the game in the second half.
Yeah,
we didn't create anything, but they didn't create anything either.
Yes, because they're 1-0 up though. If it's 0-0, like, I hear it more in it, but they're already winning. Like, the game state's already in their favour. So yes, they're not creating. That's fair. We've done well with the shape, but make this up earlier. Give us more time to make the impact show a bit more. courage. That's a theme of the season as well for me a little bit. I just like that
That's
next.
fair
that
enough.
next
I just thought the game plan was working well yesterday. And when I looked statistically, we had 5 big chances. We missed 5 big chances. I thought it was coached well. I thought the players just didn't step up in those moments where the big chances were missed, and then also with the substitutes as well. When they came on, they didn't perform. Like Badace, I thought was poor again. Like he had moments where he could have done something, and I don't know what it is with Badace. He's just not showing enough in those moments. And yeah, we conceded the second goal, bro. What can you say about that?
Yeah, just onto Badace. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed at all, man. Like you get signed back to Villa. Is your chance. Like guy thinks he's still at Hull City. Like, come on, man, step it up. Show more interest in the game. It's like even like just the way, I don't know, like the way he carries himself. It feels like just like he's not even on the pitch mentally. Like it's all you get put through on transition and you just hesitate too much. So he's young, in it. Hopefully he improves, but right now, bro, if Bailey's in this slump, I was hoping we'd have Philogene ready to make an impact and make that starting spot his in this time. But right now, bro, we got 2 wingers that both look poor.
It's mad,
and especially, and I won't just get onto Philogene, like Bailey as well. Like this is our main winger, and you see how important wingers are in the league. Like Mbeumo, Brennan Johnson, even he's been chipping in with goals this season. Saka at Arsenal, that right wing spot, you have to show more. You have to be able to beat your man 1v1, man. Like, come on, like there's players like even at Southampton, like Diblin now show more than like Bailey this season. Like we're getting restricted so much, and that combined with the fact that we didn't sign a right back in the summer, our right hand side at the moment, it's like it's non-existent, and it puts more emphasis on the left hand side, and players can just deal with us, and teams can deal with us a lot easier. So hopefully this international break, Bailey and Philogene just come back firing because we need them. We need them badly.
We need them, innit? We need them, and you know how it's going to be. The more that happens, the more it's going to be like, do we miss the RB? The RB's numbers, Louise questions and stuff like that. If it does continue, yeah, they just need to start producing a bit more, and especially Jaden, man, he's just great performance against Brian. His defensive shape was great, but we just need something going forward, innit? Like we need to see a bit of what he was doing at Hull. And yeah, just a bit more time. Hopefully, that'll bring it to him. So then let's talk about the goal, bro. The goal comes on the 84th minute. Again, it felt like before the goal, it was kind of us putting it on him. We got that corner. I was thinking, okay, imagine if we score from this point. Like it felt like the momentum was going back into our favour. Similar to the Spurs game when we conceded, it feels like at those points the momentum's back in our favour, because obviously Rodgers goes off just before that, but he had that good run where Romero injured him, and that whole 5 minute period before Spurs scored, it felt like it was us who were trying to go and win the game. It felt like at the point when Salah scored yesterday that it was us trying to equalise, and the crowd was getting a bit tetchy as well. And yeah, we were building into the game, and then to concede like that again, like it's just the unforced errors. I said it before, it seems like it's just one a game now where we make an error and it's unforced. It's not, the attacking side haven't done anything good to score that goal. And yeah, bro, Diego Carlos he couldn't have put his header in any worse place on the pitch, could he?
Yeah, I've tried to defend this guy on the ball. I still think his passing's been good for us this season, but these mistakes, man. Wolves at home, straight to Cognac, goal. Bro, he can let the ball bounce and he can just like lift it over with his foot. But the pressure just got to him and he's tried to head it. It's just dumb, innit? Like, use your foot, man. Just use your foot, bro. You can lift it over his head. You got so much time to just use your foot, and once Salah goes in, bro, I put my head down, bro, because I knew what was coming. That's in my opinion the best player in the world going 1v1 with our keeper. Like it's only going to be one result.
What he meant to do, yeah. Once he was through, I was just like, this is a goal. Like if he misses, it's a massive shock. Bit different if it started with Nunez, but when it's Salah, you just know it's a goal. But yeah, Diego, man, he could have put the ball anywhere. He could have put it in Rose's head, just put it out of play. But to head it back into Salah's pathway, yeah, it's absolute shocking mistake and we're 2-0 down, and again, it's just at that point, it's game over, isn't it? Yeah, we know we're going to lose. And the positives are that I thought the performance was much better. I thought the shape was much better. We were in the game. We really were. We had the more big chances. We missed the more big chances. And obviously the decisions played a part as well. But it is a sucker, man, because I did feel like at one point in that second half, late into it, I thought we could get something here. And to concede in that way where they hadn't really had any big chances, apart from the Nunez header, which was quite early in the second half. They had no big chances. Like, just looking at the numbers here, I think the highest XG shot they had after that was like 0.04. It was from outside the box. It wasn't troubling us at all. So to concede that way, it's a sickener. It is a sickener when you've played so well.
Yep, we definitely deserve to leave that game with a goal at least. So arguably should have had 2 penalties. Definitely should have had 1 at least. So frustrating, but I was proud of the performance. I can't lie. I thought we had our own.
Same, bro. I did. I wasn't proud of it, and I thought, yeah, we played well. We didn't get any points, but I thought at least it's much better than our previous, I'd say, three performances. And we were unfortunate not to get anything from there. And another day, it will come, man. It's just confidence. If we bang in a few against Palace, the confidence will come back. A few things I want to ask you about, just us as a side at the minute. Do you think we put too much reliance and pressure on Morgan Rogers at the minute as a side?
Yep, because we don't create enough from the width. Like, if you think about Villa, a lot of our play is central, and then maybe you'll get a deep cross from Digne going out. But what you don't see from Villa really is wide play, use the triangles, get to the byline and cut it back for a player. That's how we were creating. Remember when we had Moreno and Ramsey in that early stage Emery, when we battered Newcastle 3-0? How good was it to see our width play then? Moreno would go on the overlap. Ramsey would interchange with him, and we get to the byline and we cut back for crosses.
Yeah.
And we're missing that right now. Like, we're missing it so bad.
We were doing it at the start of the season. I remember against Everton, especially when we made the sub when Maatsen came on. Remember we played really high with like a 5 up front and how we usually play. And Maatsen was getting high. Even West Ham, that West Ham goal, it's a similar thing where we cut it back. We haven't really been doing that recently, have we? We've kind of lost our way a bit with that in terms of when we used to create big chances, it was from cutbacks usually. It's from the fullbacks. If it wasn't the wingers, it was the fullbacks who were getting to the byline and cutting the ball back and leaving it on a plate for whoever was arriving in the box. And we haven't done that recently, have we?
Yeah, I think these are the issues I think Villa have to address, like, this season. One, the over-reliance on the game state. If we go a goal down, I just never feel that, especially away from home, I never feel that confident that we'll win the game. But relying on the game state for us and having to always take the lead, that's the issue.
I don't know. We won Fulham.
Yeah, okay, we won Fulham. I'll give him that.
I think Liverpool away is a bit. That's a tough one.
Other games though, like game state as well. It's like when we said that again. Sorry.
No, Ipswich was the bad one, obviously for that. But I mean, Fulham, we went 1-0 down and we came back and we won that convincingly.
Yeah, but that's just one game, bro. And it's just more a sense of just the play style. Like, it's too passive if the other team are winning, because they can sit in their shape. Look at Club Brugge. Club Brugge, perfect example of my point. Just passiveness, running out of ideas if the other team's winning the game. Big issue. I think we have to change that. The creation out wide, I think we need to improve that as well. Start creating more wide, like I said.
Do you think that's tactical or do you think that's players?
Players. I think Emery probably wants to use that. Well, then this gets back to my point. Why did we not adjust the right-hand side in the summer? Like, we just had a whole summer to get a right back that could help us going forward on that side, and we neglected it. So while I blame the players as well, I blame the board as well for not addressing the right back situation that we all knew would be a problem. Like, they tried to sell Carlos. Like, we knew that was an issue, and we knew Konsa's best position is at centre back. So yeah, these issues could have been prevented, in my opinion. But January soon coming. Hopefully, we address the right back issue there. So yeah, that will be my main points to improve our attacking play.
So going forward, in terms of the defensive shape, I think you said at the start, Costa coming into the side potentially. You wouldn't be against that as such.
Maatsen going forward.
lineup
And the
against
thing is, I don't like think Maatsen is some world class player. Like I actually don't. I think he has his flaws as well. But going forward, at least the issue is now Ramsey's injury. That's probably going to be a big issue now. I don't know who even fills in. Who even fills in there?
I think McGinn just comes back in, doesn't he?
Well, yeah, that's
that's how I think it is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying. Like that's why it's an issue, and
he needs to step up. McGinn does. He does. He's been poor for a long time now. He hasn't played well for a while in terms of the McGinn at times last season. He hasn't been.
I'm saying six months, bro, and that includes the Euros for me.
Yeah, agree.
I think he's been off it for since probably April time.
Mm. Yeah, I agree. I think it's not the McGinn we usually expect to know, and sometimes he'd drop off like the odd game, but this has been consistent for a while now, and I think it's been justified by Emery's comments when he said that it's not the Super John McGinn that we know, and he needs to get to that level. Then he's had injury for a month, but he's been back for a month again now. Started on the bench on the weekend. I think that's telling. That's the club captain, and Emery's put him on the bench from the off in a big game away at Anfield. I think, yeah, McGinn needs to step up. He really does, and this will probably mean he gets back into the starting lineup because of an injury to Jacob Ramsey. But he's not the only one. Obviously, Leon Bailey needs to get. Yeah, there's a few players, man, that are just not performing to the level. Not even like overperforming. Like last season we saw players overperforming and exceeding. They're not even performing to a decent level at the moment.
They're just not playing. I mean? Certain men are just not playing. They're not featuring like at all. Like they're on the pitch, but they're not on the pitch.
Yeah, agreed. Anyway, bro,
I just want to make a point though, bro. This is what we have to improve, because you know how you're making a point about we're only 1 point off third, etc. I agree with that. That's cool and everything, can it? But last season, if you looked at our underlying numbers, we were still top 4, top 5, even if we wasn't in the top 4, top 5 at the time. This season, bro, we're currently 9th on the main, most important stats. So in a way, we're almost in the correct position that our performances have shown. That's the worrying part for me. I think league tables can be fickle, and it can change. There's a bit of luck involved, but the fact that we're not creating enough, that's the worry for me. I think we're 10th in the quality of chances we're creating. So, gotta step it up, bro. Gotta step it up. Yeah, because I can't even be mad at the league table right now. I think I can't be mad.
I agree, bro. I agree. I'm
not saying you. I'm not saying you said it. I'm just making my point in it. This is what I'm saying. I think if we say we're 1 point off third, etc. I think that's cool and all, but I think it doesn't get to the root of the issues more. I think we just got to boost them creation numbers, get more quality chances, we did do against Liverpool. To be fair, so.
I think you can take from everyone knows we haven't played well in the war. I think that's been obvious. We haven't played to the level we know we can do. Yesterday was much more positive. It's the best side in the league at the minute. We matched them in certain aspects, and I think it was unforced errors that cost us in anything, and we didn't take our chances, which can happen. So I have nothing against that. It's the performances before that which have been disappointing. For sure, in terms of the last 3, especially in all competitions. But yeah, I hear you, bro, regarding the league table. That's fair. It's extremely tight, but if we're going statistically with our numbers and it's looking like we should be 9th anyway, then what can you say about that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I can't even be too mad in the position where I think it's a good reflection, and we can't get complacent with just the points tally. We need to address the root causes for me, and hopefully Emery's a genius, and Emery will be working overtime these next 2 weeks to address it. But yeah, we got Chelsea, Brentford coming up in the Premier League. These are big games. We have to start winning.
We have to beat
Palace as well. Well, I think we'll beat Palace. To be honest, I think we'll beat Palace, but I want to see a performance, because if we just get a result and we don't play well, I'm happy about the 3 points, but later on the line it's going to bite us. So I want to see a really good performance against Palace, who are arguably one of the worst teams performing-wise in the league right now with injuries. So I know they beat us at Villa Park, but you'd hope our first team will put up a better performance.
Yeah, you do. And hopefully is not back for that one. Hopefully he's out for a bit longer, because he was problems. Anything else, bro, from that one? I think
Yeah,
the
I
majority
just hope
there, but
I hope
yeah.
Ramsey's injury is not serious. I hope he's back after the international break. We were saying Kamara might have picked up an injury as well. I hope that's not too serious. So
Yeah, I really hope Kamara's not serious, because he looks like he's getting back to his usual standards when he's making his cameos, and Kamara isn't far off a start, I don't think, for sure. Yeah, quick one. How do you think Amadou Onana did? We haven't really touched on him. That's one position we haven't touched in the centre of the park. How do you think him and Tielemans did?
like I said, I thought their pressing, their midfield was quite decent. Onana, of course, as well, got a chance on the corner, but yeah, bit much, I think, with Onana. I think Tielemans as well. Decent, I'd say. Nothing crazy, but nothing bad either.
Yeah, we'll see, man. The international break's come at a good time for us, I think. In other scenarios, we've been like, it's not come at the right time because we had momentum, but this time I think it's come at the right time in terms of players can just get their heads back, and Unai can work tactically and see what elements he can kind of what tweaks and changes he can make to the side. But I think for me, the big thing is player performances at the minute. It's player performances. One thing I will say is, obviously, we exceeded expectations last season. I think some players did overperform. At times this season, I think Unai's setup hasn't been incorrect. I just don't think the players have executed it right. Do you think that some players maybe are regressing back to their norm in that sense, or do you feel like there's still much more to give from some players on the pitch?
Like we said earlier, bro, like you can have regression, but like this is going the complete opposite way, where they're just not performing at, like, if you grab someone from the championship, like a random winger from the championship, you could probably grab right now, put on right wing, and they'd show equal to what Bailey's showing, or even maybe a bit more. So that's the issue at the moment. Like, come on, you gotta raise the standards, bro.
Yeah, I agree, bro. I agree. Anyway, I think we'll end it there, bro. Everyone have a nice 2 weeks of watching England bore you to death. Yeah, as we say, if you could really appreciate it. Also, if you could subscribe, that would be great as well. The chat's been overflowing, the comments have been flowing in, so we kind of missed them because they've been going through. But yeah, we really appreciate the comments that have been in there. I've been looking at what's.
Oh yeah, also, it looks like, just to end on a positive, it looks like we got some nice Adidas kits to look forward to. That's the rumor. So
it looks like we've got a 150 anniversary kit to come
yeah.
More dough out the pockets, man. But yeah, man, it'd be interesting next season with the elite. Looks like we'll be elite an elite
clip.
No, I got on my mind, innit? We'll be an elite club with the trefoil. Yeah, that'll be mad. See what
have you seen as well though the away kits? The colours have dropped as well. It looks like it could be black with like light blue. Like I'm a fan of that. I'm a fan. If it's black, like the reverse of that Acorns kit that we had, the Nike one. If it's a reverse of that, I'm a big fan of that one.
It's like a red and white potentially as well. So yeah, the kits. I love the kits this season. I think the kits they've gone free for free. To be honest, the white one grew on me because I didn't kind of rate it at first as the other two. I think the other two are top tier kits. But I think the white one's growing on me as well. So I think they've gone free for free this year, considering the amount of time they had. They smashed it with the kits this season. So yeah,
that's what's annoying. Like, if you told me Villa would be in all white in an Adidas kit away in the Champions League, like I'd be thinking, no way. I wouldn't expect us to lose the game or anything. Like, we look so cool in that. Don't you think we look so sick in that all Adidas white kits?
Yeah, bro. Like, and the young boys one was cold as well.
Yeah, man. I thought looks the aesthetics cold, and it's just need the performances to match the aesthetic. That's the next step.
Yeah. He's coming. Palace is coming after Palace. Hopefully all the players go away, hardly play, stay fit, and come back ready to go, man. Because Unai will be cooking. He'll be cooking something for sure. Anyway,
just one more thing. Sorry, just last thing.
Go.
Last thing, sneak it in there. Yeah.
I'm gonna let you close.
Just about the Douglas Luiz loan, bro. Like, one thing I'm happy about. I hope he just doesn't come to that game. Like, I think my nerves will be easy if he just doesn't the last thing we need is him coming on and just doing something as well. I hope Martin just leaves him out the squad.
Let me see. Did he play this weekend?
Nah, he wasn't in the squad again, and he's fully fit. And have we messed up the vibes there?
If Martin puts him in the team out of nowhere, out of the wilderness.
I could see it. You
know, Dougie's going to have the performance of his life. You just know it.
Just not to get onto Mings. Not to get onto Mings. Not
saying not to get onto Mings. You know exactly.
But bro, I don't know. I just can't help it. Since he's come back in the squad, the matchday squad, it's just like 4 losses, 1 draw, 1 not, 1 win. It's like, come on,
don't do that.
What energy are you bringing?
Don't do that. The wins are coming, man. The wins are coming. Anyway, we'll try close out third time lucky. But thanks all for joining. Had some good numbers in here. Again, as we always say, if you could like, subscribe if you're new as well, and leave a comment on your thoughts going into the international break. 3 things you think Villa need to improve on. I'd like to see in the comments 3 things you think Villa need to improve on going into the remainder of the season after the international break. Whether that be tactically, you can mention players. 3 things. I'd like to get your thoughts on that. Anyway, bro, enjoy your Sunday evening. Raiders playing tonight.
Don't care.
Seahawks on a bye, man. So yeah, there's none of that. There's none of that over here. But yeah, enjoy your Sunday, bro, and everyone else enjoy your Sunday, and see you on the next one up the Villa.